Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Love Star Wars, the purely positive Star Wars review show run by two absolute Star Wars dorks. My name is Alex. With me, as always, is David Garcia. David, how are you?
I'm fine. We are going to talk about a weird one today. No force. Well,
Well,
a little bit. That doesn't. That we don't talk about that. So yeah, but it's been. I mean, we have been recording this for a while now,
Mhm.
and talking about Star Wars is always fun.
Mhm.
We are getting to the end, because this is going to air right before we start the wrap up with the best trilogy of them all.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been fun, and we are getting to the end, guys.
Yeah, we're talking about Solo, a Star Wars story. One that came out late in the game. And fun fact: some of you didn't see it in theaters,
I
probably
did
based
twice.
on based on how the movie did at box office. Some of you may not have seen it in theaters. I was
Yep.
lucky enough to, and it was well, let's talk
Did you
about
see
it
it in theaters?
with the rankings. I think is probably the best place to start.
Yes.
David, I know you have it a bit lower than me. Where do you have it? Solo,
Yes,
a
I
Star Wars
have
story.
this movie at number 8, Star Wars. Funnily enough, is the highest of the spin-offs for me. I know there are a lot of Rogue One lovers out there, but I like Solo more, and obviously Clone Wars is below it. I mean, it's 8, but it's not because I don't like it. Obviously, I actually love this movie. I think it's one of the most rewatchable Star Wars movies, to be completely honest, because it doesn't have a lot of lore to like worry about. There aren't a lot of chances for them to screw things up, so you can just relax and watch Fast and Furious in Star Wars universe.
Fast and Furious in space.
I
Sure.
mean, this movie is better than any of the Fast and Furious anyway. But yeah.
Boom. Take that, Fast
Boom.
Five. Roasted. Okay, I have it a bit higher than you. This is my 5. Um, this is what I would say at the lower end of elite Star Wars. Because once again, just edges out Rogue One. Um, sorry, Rogue One fans. We love it, but
Yeah,
sorry, it's just not Solo, a Star Wars story good. Try
it's
harder
not.
next time.
It's really not.
And that sequel
I'm
that you're not
muting my phone,
getting,
by the way.
and that sequel that no one is getting.
Yeah.
You're also not getting Solo too, so it's fine. Please come back all
I
of you.
mean, Solo 2 will make more sense because everybody in Rogue One is dead.
That's true.
So,
Um, so oh god, the thing that I always forget. We have
yes,
to go to the
to
stupid
you,
poll from
the people. Okay.
to the
So,
people.
um, Solo Star Wars Story, it has 2% of the votes, which puts it,
Has
if
to be like
we take out
has
the
to be
Baconator one,
Thanks, Tim.
it puts it 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth starting from below, which is 7th. I believe if my math is right.
Sure.
So
12
a little below
minus
you, a little above me.
5, 7. Yeah, that tracks. Sure. Yeah. So not one of your favorites, but we're gonna tell you why you're wrong about that.
Yeah.
Internet friends. I see you. I'll learn your names later. Once David sends me that link.
By
Um,
that, at this time, you don't know the names of the people in the community.
not the ones that didn't vote for Solo a Star Wars story. Boom,
Easy.
roasted. Um
All right.
Oh goodness. David, what's next?
Well, I like how you announce it better, but we are going to go actually like
We're going
to a
there?
new place.
Like right
To a
now?
new to a new place. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to a new place. Let's take a walk away from the John Williams corner. Don't worry, we'll be back.
Yeah.
And let's mosey on over and wash our hands in the John Powell sink. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him
There we
go.
go.
Um so I'm just gonna say it because I said it before and I'm gonna say it now. John Powell's a really good composer, y'all.
Yeah,
Y'all are sleeping on this John Powell guy. I know How to Train Your Dragon was great. No, I mean it is. That's yes, but he also did some other really good scores, both by himself and with other people. And I think this is a really good score. David, any particular song catch your ears? Not eyes, ears.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say that as a whole, is probably the best soundtrack of the Disney era.
Sure.
Like, it doesn't have the most memorable themes, but I think as a whole, it's the best sound. Like it's very enjoyable. Very, I don't know. I really like the soundtrack. But if I have to pick one, and because specifically we are in the Young Powell sync, because it would be weird to be in the Young Powell sync and pick.
And then we pick a
Williams. I think composed by John Williams, which honestly, in my opinion, is the best theme of the movie. Like, honorable mention to Han Solo's theme composed by John Williams. Sure. I think it's fit. My pick is When the Marauders Arrive. That sounds every single time Memphis Nest is on screen.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for chorus. I don't know.
Chorus.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for chorus, and I think it's really intimidating, actually. Like, you hear the music and you're like, that's trouble. Like, that's bad. I don't exactly know what's happening or who are those people in the train, but I don't want to go near them, especially because I hear that music. I don't want to go near them. And I think it's a really good representation of them. I mean, okay, not good representation, because the Marauders end up being like main people and a child leading them who are like the rebellion and everything. So when they take off their helmets, they are not really that intimidating. But as a group and as a presence in the galaxy, I think, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you talked about this one, because it was going to be one of my honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
And now I get to talk about the Marauders theme. Let's talk about the Marauders theme, David, because I think you're wrong.
Okay.
In the sense that, or you're right and wrong in the sense that it's supposed to be intimidating, because the Marauders are ambush thieves.
Yeah.
They're ambush rogues. They like come in, and when you've done all the work, they come in and then they blast you when they take all this stuff, right? Yeah. And the first, if you just listen to it on YouTube, the first 45 seconds, maybe minute, is the like intimidating. Dun, 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 dun. It's like the intimidating part. But everything after like the 1 minute mark, when you've had to sit with the Marauders for a little bit, it's actually not that intimidating.
No, it's when they remove their helmets.
Yeah.
The music shifts to like, they are people trying to survive.
Yeah. It's a chorus specifically of people like crying out.
Yeah.
Which makes it one of the more interesting uses of, because there's not a lot of vocalization in Star Wars scores.
No, you have the two big lightsaber battles, and the Emperor's theme coming soon to a John Williams corner near you. Yeah, there is not a lot.
Yeah, and to use it with the Marauders specifically, a people or a group of people that specifically have been oppressed, specifically have been afflicted by just hardships, makes it a really interesting use that they brought it for. They literally integrated into the theme. That I thought was like a really excellent touch. Something that I hope is on purpose, but even if it's not on purpose, yeet. Even if we just like are guessing, like yeet. Good job.
There are a lot of things in music and art that like experts point out, and I am like,
maybe
was the artist thinking that when he?
Yeah, and then the artist will be like, yeah, that's a good, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I did that. That's yep. When
in fact, like some of it was, when in fact it was like, you shot this scene, it's so dark. Is that supposed to? And the fact of the matter is, nah, we were out of light. With the lighting budget was out, so we were just like,
yeah. I like it.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, we'll find artistic integrity later, but this is good. Yeah, I agree. My pick is we're so different, you and I, David. Because you care about what's going on in action sequences. I don't at all. I went with Sabacc game. It is the music that plays specifically in the first Sabacc game between
Yeah, in the
Han and
montage when
Mando.
Han Solo is
Yeah.
playing, you mean?
Yeah, the montage music specifically. This movie has like a really fun like four rogues vibe. Like if the four rogues in like a D&D game went off on an adventure, this has like that kind of a vibe to it. And this is like a fun score to kind of highlight the fact that like Han's really trying to pull one over here. I'm like pretty confident he can win this game. He might be cheating. Everybody at the table is cheating basically, except maybe Han, who might also be cheating. Who knows? They don't show you. And he's like pretending to be bad at it, but he's like winning all like a good amount of the hands. And it's just like a fun, like light score to like highlight that.
Yeah.
It's not like flashy, and honestly, if you look at a lot of my picks, most of my music picks aren't very flashy.
No, you are the perfect counterpart, like to me.
Yeah. It's just light flutes with like a little bit of like it's like the music is winking at you.
Yeah.
Is what I
This is
imagine.
actually one of my favorite moments of the movie. Like when he is like, "Oh, yes, that was the hey, I saw your cards. Now, now you let me see yours." I think that's Han. That's one of the. That's like how okay. That's about how people imagine Han, because we don't actually see rogue scoundrel Han. Never. Like no, we don't. We see him shoot a guy in a cantina, and then he immediately becomes a hero. I mean, yeah, in the first movie he's like, but we all know he's like a good guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do a lot of scoundrelly things because
he always like fakes or like thinks about doing a scoundrel thing.
Yeah.
But then he just doesn't do it. Like, all right, put him in a pod, we'll get him out of here. And then they're like, no, we're not gonna. Fine, I guess we'll take him with us. We're all going now. We're all going to that planet now. Great. See, isn't this fun, everybody? Yeah, this is like scoundrel Han, like when he's still young, and living his best life. Oh my god!
I think we can skip the battle segments for this movie.
I think we can talk about it just like briefly.
Okay, let's talk. What is your battle?
I actually like the stuff on Mimban.
Yeah,
meaning that like the transition fight. I don't mean the fight on the train. I don't care about that at all.
That's not me.
But like I thought it was kind of funny how like Han was bamboozled because he got kicked out of flight, out of like the Naval Academy, and then now he's like just like a foot soldier. Yeah, I'll have my own ship in however many years. And then 5 years later, he's still just like a foot soldier. Like that's really funny to me in a way.
Yeah, that's because he was kicked out.
Like, yeah, no, I get it. Like I wouldn't promote him either.
Told like a lieutenant or something.
No, I wouldn't promote him either. But like that's like army false promises kind of thing, where it's like, yeah, definitely 2 years, and then 5 years later, you're still just like a rank and file soldier. To me, that's like kind of funny. And then the idea that Woody Harrelson is like, I gotta take control of this fight. Okay. All right, I'll draw their fire, y'all flank. Let's go. He has to just like really quickly come up with a battle plan.
And I really like this battle specifically because, first of all, I like Han's comment of this is their planet, we are the hostiles.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely true.
That's some Empire shit right there.
And I really like the feel of it. Like the Empire foot soldiers, not the stormtroopers, the foot soldiers that aren't stormtroopers have it really bad. Like, they are in the mud, probably without enough rations, without equipment. People don't know what they are doing. They are, I mean, the higher ranks are bitching for getting victories in expense of the foot soldiers to get promotions and get out of that mad planet. That's how the Empire works. And we see how, like, we are leaders now. Ah!
I do think that there is something to it, to what you just said about, like, Woody Harrelson is walking around in stolen armor that has that clearly has blast holes in it, and no one thinks twice about it. They're just like,
Yep.
They'll just salute him because, like, yeah, sure, I guess he would be wearing, like, there's not enough armor to go around. If someone has holes in it, that dude's probably not in combat very often, so I guess give it to him. Sure, why not? Maybe he's a good leader. I don't know. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I like just Mimban. Good stuff.
My battle. There aren't a lot of battles in it.
There's like 3. I just picked
my battle. I guess I like the final battle between Kira, Dryden Voss, and Han.
Sure.
I mean, it's very funny to me how Han tries to fight hand to hand with a blaster.
What was I watching yesterday? Oh, I was watching the Legend of Vox Machina, and they have a character that uses a gun, Percy.
Yeah.
And Percy's fighting someone, Professor Anders, and Professor Anders has a sword, just like a long sword.
Yeah.
And Percy tries to block a downward swing with his gun. With his, like, it's a pepper box. But it just looks goofy because he's like,
don't they do that in Cowboy Bebop as well? Doesn't, like, the main character use guns and he goes against, like, people with swords? Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. It's like a thing, but I don't like it. I don't like looking at it.
I don't like
it.
It
Looks like it's
if I ever
gonna cut my gun in half.
If I ever like it, how to hand combat with guns, that's John Wick.
Yeah. It
and
is
Han
really
Solo,
goofy.
And Han Solo, not John Wick.
Not John Wick.
No, but also it kind of has like a soft spot for me because we know Dryden Voss and Kira are using Terraskasi, which is like a martial art that also was the title of a very old Star Wars fighting game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I like those details and like the vibro blades and everything. And I think the choreography of that is fine. And I like it. So yeah. I don't have a lot to say about it, honestly, because like the battles are not the highlight of this movie. Like at all. I mean, maybe we could honorable mention like when Han is being pursued by the TIE fighters, the first time he flies the Falcon, when he goes like clonk and destroys one by doing like a flip. That's a good moment. But yes, the battles aren't okay. This is a positive show, and the battles are not the best part of this movie. So we are going to move on.
One thing I'll say about the fight you brought up is that it reminds me. It's not as good, I don't think, but it's similar to like the water wheel fight in Dead Man's Chest, Pirates of the Caribbean, in the sense that it's 3 different people's like ethos manifested into a fight. Kira is a climber. Dryden Voss is just trying to get out of here with all the money that he can. Solo's fighting for like to live and do what he wants, and he's trying to get Kira out, and Kira's not going. Kira just wants like Han to get out, and she wants Dryden Voss's position. Like there's like a lot going on story-wise.
Yeah.
It's just not super translated. It's like it's just in a movie that actually has like some really cool stuff to look at and stuff that like really interesting like happens is like really interesting. The 3 of them like hacking away at each other is just not super like whatever. It's fine. But I like it. I like the thought of it.
All right.
I like the idea of you. As well as it.
Why don't you start with the random stuff?
That's not fair because you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to get it. You just got to get out of the way early.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's talk about Lando Calrissian. Look, y'all read me. You knew what I was gonna say. Lando Calrissian is always one of the best parts of every Star Wars movie that he's in. And just because you change the actor, that's still true, baby.
Great casting, like great. Casting.
Tiered casting. I don't even know who else you would get. Like, who else would you get to play young?
Yeah.
Like what? Like yeah, you got. I'll say this: I don't know if Donald Glover is at like as charismatic as Billy D. Williams,
It's close.
but it's close, right?
Yeah.
And he's doing like the same thing that Alden Ehrenreich is doing. He's doing like a really uncanny impression
Yep.
of a character that we only have older versions for.
Yeah.
Like we
And
don't
again,
have old like we don't have a thing to reference that would be younger, except
Yeah.
for maybe literature that maybe doesn't even fit. All right, like what Disney's going forward of what that character is.
honestly, I cannot tell you because I have only read. I mean, I have read some previous stuff, but I have only really dived into like post Return of the Jedi stuff. So
Right, but like even if that's what he's drawing from, like that's not stuff that's like you could get it, you could find it, those like old novels, but you can't like if that's even what the character was supposed to be going for. Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
So like he's just doing an impression based. He's doing an impression based on an older character, but he's playing the younger version of that character, and he's decided, I think I'm the hero of this story. I definitely think I'm the hero of this story. This whole story is going down because of me right now. And it kind of is. But the fact that he thinks it is even funnier. So, like, as an actor, Donald Glover is... People think he's like a comedic actor, and he kind of is. But he's also like a fairly serious actor. Like, the stuff in Atlanta kind of clashes with the stuff in Community, where in Community he's comedic, in Atlanta it's funny, but he's not the joke. It's a serious guy reacting to surreal and odd situations. In Solo, it's neither of those things. In Solo, it's God, I'm great. I'm so good at this. We're gonna get out of here. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be marvelous. Oh my God.
We literally said it talking about the Sabak game. It's the version of Lando we never saw, but everybody assumed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's literally he literally pulled off what everybody thought Lando was.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was anything different, people would have been bitching about it.
Yeah, and
I think at least
it's so good.
It's a Star Wars fans. They would.
Yeah, and if you did, you're wrong. There, I said it. Yeah, I love the capes. I love the Calrissian Chronicles.
Yeah,
I love all of that.
He's so full of himself. He's in love with himself.
He's
like,
in love with the idea of himself in a way that you should really aspire to. Like that's the kind of confidence. Even just the way he sits at the sabacc table, like this.
Yeah.
Like he's so comfortable in like ultra colorful get-ups. He's so he's like completely fit. It's a high tension game, and everyone else is like this, and he's because he's cheating. But like to him, he's the most comfortable he's ever been, and it's just like top tier. Love it. Love this character.
Yeah, Lando Calrissian is great.
Love Lando.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
You know what? You talk about. I'm going to shout out to Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes, thank you, Alden Ehrenreich. He's a great Han Solo.
Yep.
The only problem maybe with him is that he looks a bit old for the Han Solo age they were going for. Maybe, but that doesn't bother me like at all. He doesn't look too much younger than what Harrison Ford was when he shot A New Hope.
Sure.
That's the thing. He doesn't look like, you know what I mean? And that's supposed to be like, what? I don't know, 6, 5, 7 years, something like that. Which actually is not that much. But anyway.
No. It's not the weirdest age discrepancy.
No, he does. I mean, he has great mannerisms. I think he studied the Han Solo of the original trilogy and he mimics it to a T. I think his expressions, his voice, how he does like the thing at the end, And he goes like, "See you around, kid." He's like, I am like, that's Han Solo, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
And the way he shoots exactly like the. Okay, I'm getting excited. Like the moment when they are running from Kessel, and they are going to the Falcon. That scene of Han Solo shooting while going back to the Falcon is a mimic of when Luke, Obi-Wan, and Han go into the Falcon in Tatooine.
Are you talking about the?
Yeah.
Are you talking about? It's it's Auntie. Yeah, absolutely.
And that guy pulls it off perfectly. And I don't know why people bitch about Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know it.
Oh, is that
and I would really like to see a show of him, Sebastian Stan, and Billy Lord. Why not? Let's just make Kyle Kokonix disappear from canon, playing the original trio in a TV show.
I would love that. I love Billy Lord.
Right? It would be great.
So here's the thing. I was also going to talk about Alden Ehrenreich. I was going to do it for not as long as we talked about Lando, but I have a lot to say about Alden Ehrenreich. You said I just want to say Alden Ehrenreich again is putting in like a weirdly uncanny version of this character. He's a bit younger. He smiles more, but he's still like a charming rogue. He's like comfortable killing. That's not what he'd rather do, but if he's all right, you threaten my life. If it's you or me, I choose me.
Yeah.
But he's like just stumbling through the thing that doesn't change is he's just a guy stumbling through the galaxy going oops every like 10 minutes. That should never change about this character. Every 10 minutes, Han Solo should go
The fact that okay, let me do the math. 15, 16, 17, 18. All right. The fact that 3 years earlier, we saw old Han Solo trying to talk his way out of how he borrowed money from two gangs and hasn't returned it. And then we saw Solo going like, you see that ship? I have like 30 hired guns. And then the ship flies away. And he's like, whoops, okay.
All right, that's not true. I admit it. It's not. Yeah, it's every 10 minutes something goes wrong for Han. The ship breaks, the ship's tied up. We're being shot at. They stole the thing from us. Oh God, I lost the card game. Everything goes wrong for Han constantly, and it all works out. In the end, through quick thinking and murder, everything's fine. We fixed it. I love Alden Ehrenreich puts in like a really strong performance. I agree. I don't know why he got like crap for this, because I think it's like a really uncanny impression. That if you never saw a different version of this character, you'd be like, "Oh, it's really good. Look at him." Yeah.
Also, the origin story of the dice that are so important.
He has to have them.
Okay, sorry. It's a positive show, but I couldn't not.
He has to have them.
The dice. Okay. Your turn.
Let's finish it up. Kira, I think, is one of the most interesting like co-leads in the series. Basically, I think she
loves Han. It's clear that she loves Han, or at least she cares about him.
He loves Han, but it's also clear that like that was years ago, my guy.
Han Solo is the same. Han is like the same guy.
Yeah,
his objectives haven't changed. He was going to go back. 100% sure
Oh,
that
the second he had money, he was going back.
yeah,
I don't
he was
not
going back.
yeah, 100%.
And no, he was going back and going, "Where's Kira?" And the other like, "Huh?"
Dude, that was years ago. She's not here
Yeah.
anymore, fam. Yeah, I mean, she didn't. Okay, she got out. She got out.
She
Kind of.
probably got sold.
She almost certainly got sold. That's a really interesting part of that character. But like, this is a character with like responsibilities, with like
Dangerous people.
she is the lieutenant of like a major criminal empire, and she wants the top spot because that's what true freedom is.
Yeah.
Like she'd still be Maul's number 2, but I guess Maul just fucks off for long periods of time without orders.
I mean, yeah, that's very interesting. Actually, we said we weren't going to talk about that. Okay, let's talk about it.
No. But I'm not talking about Maul right now. I'm just saying that like Maul just
Oh.
bounces. Like you have to call Maul if somebody dies. But like
No, but
that,
Maul actually has to bounce at some point because the next time we see him in canon,
yeah,
it's in Rebels, and let me tell you, he's no leader or anything.
Sure. Oh, I'm sure that the next thing that happens is Kira kicks him out. But Kira is like, she's the head. She's like the lieutenant of a major criminal empire. She has a relatively stable life, and here comes Han Solo, just walking in. Hello. Oh, hi, Kira. And she's like, shit. Oh no.
Why did you make Han Solo's voice like Yoda?
What up, Kira?
Hey, Kira.
Kira, baby. No, and like
spoilers from a following episode.
That's right. We shot it yesterday. No, but he just like walks in and she's like, he's still hot. No, he's still hot. Oh, I gotta deal with this. And despite the fact that she's like very clearly like a measured person, like she's not like very she's not like super emotional. She just like bounces when it's time to go. She's very willing for people to be like she's willing to go with the plan. She's like a good actor. There's one moment that I thought, this is like a strong performance from Emilia Clarke, and it's in Lando's closet.
Yeah,
Lando's closet is like one of the most romantically tense moments in all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And one of the other ones is when they first see each other again.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I can explain either one. But you're there, and not so much the first time, but at least in Lando's closet, they're finally alone.
It's the fact that Han is all in. Like Han is.
Oh, let's get married,
right
baby. Let's get married. What are we doing
right
now?
up where we left it? And Kira is like, I cannot, but
yeah, that's Kira when they first see each other at the party.
Yeah.
When they're alone, when everyone's like on the other side of the ship, they're just in Lando's closet. They're trying on capes. She gets carried away a little bit.
A little, yes.
A little bit. And then she's like into it. It's not like a bad they're like both really into it.
Yeah, it's not like the first Han and Leia kiss.
Yeah, where it's like someone's pinned up against the wall.
Yeah,
and I guess it's happening now. They're both super like in for it.
And then, by the way, I think I have to say I'm in favor of that relationship.
Yeah,
I shouldn't care about it when watching the movie because, like, I know he's going to be married to another person.
Sure.
I know this is not going anywhere. This is going to, but I kind of cared, and I was like, ah, look at them. You know what I mean? And I think they make it through. I mean, the chemistry makes it through the screen, and you actually root for them, even though in my mind I'm like,
this is gonna work out.
But Han and Leia, though, you know that Han ends up with Leia, right? And you like Leia. Yeah, I love Leia, but Kira's fine. So I think that's a lot to say about that. Says a lot about the performance and how that specific relationship is written and acted.
And just to know that there's more. Even speaking to Han, there was like a girl before Leia.
I mean,
Because Han's like 30.
yeah, because maybe you always picture Han. There are people that probably picture Han before Leia just like hooking up with a lot of girls, but not having like. And then it was like Kira, his first love. He's like, what?
That's me.
You picture him like that?
Han. That's how I picture Han.
Me too, honestly. Like, yeah. Okay, do you want to do like 4 because I kind of want to talk about Beckett.
You want to talk about Beckett? Really? Okay.
Yeah, Beckett's great.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't have Beckett, but go ahead.
Beckett's great. I mean, it's what Han Solo would have been if he didn't meet Luke.
You
know what I mean?
Go on.
I mean, he's like the washed out rogue smuggler that at this point doesn't trust anybody. Imagine if after being betrayed by Kira twice and Beckett, Han Solo would have continued on that world of looking out for yourself, having to get jobs done, having to survive and being betrayed and everything. He would have ended like Beckett. He probably would have picked like 1 or 2 more members of his crew along with Chewbacca, and he would have been like a washed up, charming rogue that actually doesn't do things like by accident because he has the experience now. And I think that's like the image of what Han Solo would have been if he didn't get involved with the, morally high people.
Sure.
That took him off the smuggling road. And also, Woody Harrelson, he doesn't deliver a bad performance.
Yeah.
Never. And the lesson, and I am willing to put my money on that, the lesson he was going to tell to Han before he shoots him is always shoot first. Like,
yeah, probably.
That's my headcanon. So, yeah. And the fact that he actually, I think, also cares about Han. He also cares about Han. But he was willing to kill him. And again, Han clearly likes Beckett.
Sure.
And he killed him. So if Han Solo continued down that road, being as young as he was, he would have been Beckett. That's my opinion, and I think that's a very good contrast of this is how these people start, and if they don't get turned around at some point by Leia, by a Luke, by anything like that, they will end like Beckett, probably being shot by somebody that's not technically your enemy. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I think Beckett, Kira, the Marauders, I think they all occupy this like really interesting space of being gray characters in Star Wars. And I'll be honest, kind of Han too. Like early Han kind of occupy the space of being like gray characters of like, we're just trying.
Yeah.
Like we're just out here trying. Like Beckett's in it for himself. The Marauders are criminals and they clearly murder people and they're like fine with it, but they're doing it for this reason.
For the cause, yeah.
Yeah, for the cause, whatever the cause is, for the cause.
Yeah, they are in line with Cassian, kinda.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. And I think that's like a really for a series that's otherwise like the dark side and the light. The idea of like I'm a career criminal. I don't know what you want from me. Like it I'm stealing from the Empire. That's the best I can do right now. that's all I got. And
I'm sending it to the Empire again. But I mean
yeah, I mean, yes, that's technically true, but What do you want me to do? It's my life, or I steal from those guys. Those are my options right now. I can't exactly run away right now. I think that's like a really interesting like place to like. There's some place for characters like that as well. I was gonna talk about the Marauders, and I guess we could wrap that up with well, like just because they occupy like the same space of like, well, this is the only thing that we can do. This is all we got. I don't have a better idea. So this is all
it's
I
for
got.
a bigger cost, but we cannot do more. So
yeah.
But
so,
I like the fact that it kind of like, I'm a sucker for the rebellion and the origins of the rebellion and seeing people like rebel and do things. That's why I'm such a fan of Rebels, and actually why I'm being such a fan of Andor right now. The show.
I can't wait to watch Andor. That's gonna be like a fun set.
You should. It's really good. You have to watch the first 3 episodes.
I plan to do it all in like the same day. I'm waiting till it's all out.
That sounds awesome. Anyway, we are talking about Solo. I love the rebellion. I love the rebellion. I love that idea of a group of people that aren't necessarily well organized doing things to try and take down the biggest empire. Like, you know what? That sounds like the actual plot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So it's like, maybe that's why I like it. But everything that has to do with the people rising up with the early stages of the empire, the early stages of the rebellion, that after the Republic falls, people start to realize, actually, we were better before.
Yeah.
I really, really like. So, yeah.
There's just something about Empire. There's just something about like Empire. I don't like the sound. It just feels like we're bad now. It just feels.
Yeah, right. Also, speaking of Empire, can we talk about how the Empire match apparently is canon now in Star Wars universe? The Empire March is canon in the Star Wars universe.
Oh yeah, that's literally their like propaganda music.
That's
every time you use it in like your head thing to feel cool, you're listening to propaganda music. Congratulations, you're a fascist.
I'm not cutting
boy. Huh?
I'm not cutting that.
No, don't. It's a part of the episode. I'll be horrified if you cut it. Was that you or me? Was that you? That was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. I've talked about stuff like this before, but I think it is really important. The integration of effects and practicality.
Oh yeah.
So some of this stuff is real, and some of it doesn't exist. Like, no, it's an idea that somebody had, and they were like, do, and then they made it. Your brain processes, or at least mine does, processes fake better if it is surrounded by real.
Yeah.
So, like, I believe that chair that Rio was sitting in, for example, that was real. And then they just put Rio there as like a concept, as like a vague idea. And they were like, yeah, that looks better.
If it's a back table, for example.
Yeah. If that chair was like, if that chair was just like a regular chair and they had put green on it and then they had superimposed what the chair was supposed to look like and then they had added Rio on top of that, it would have been too many fake textures on top of fake textures. As opposed to actually like trying to do some of this stuff. Because I think this movie has some of the best real integrated with fake.
Yeah. And I said that I think the Sabacc table is a great example. I think the table is real.
Yeah.
The table is real, the chips are real, the cards are real, the chairs are real. I think some of the background might be real. A lot of it is going to be CGI. And the aliens are probably CGI, but you believe it, they are completely integrated. I believe that the eye guy is there.
Yeah, some of it definitely looks like if you reached out, some of this set isn't like covered in green.
Mhm.
And it makes the brain kind of process it better.
Yep.
And not only that, when you get to some of the actual fake stuff that they made, as I'll be on record as saying that the prettiest shot in all of Star Wars is in The Last Jedi when they crash through the Dreadnought. That's the prettiest shot in all of Star Wars, in my opinion. The
Okay.
second prettiest shot actually might be from when they're in the maw. This is, or at least when they're like in the not maybe not the maw, but like the maelstrom, when it's just like the shots of like the red and the blue like whipping around. That's like high up for me.
Yeah, it's a really great.
Doesn't exist at all.
It's a really great movie visually. Like,
yeah, but because it's immediately preceded by the characters going, where are we right now? It's the next shot to you. It's more impressive because the characters are impressive. The characters looked up. We're in the maelstrom again. Shit. you would be like, okay, well then I guess it doesn't matter. But because the characters are like, you are like, oh wow, that is actually really spectacular. That's crazy. How did they do that? In a way that like, do you remember in Rise of Skywalker when the cavalry comes?
Yeah.
And it's just like, they say hundreds or thousands of just fighters show up or ships show up. And you like see some of them. You like see 50.
Yeah.
And it's like this. It's like the shot is filtered through like this lens, and you're like, oh hey, Wedge is back. That's my thought. Is that Wedge's ship? And then Wedge is there, and you're like, oh hey, Wedge is back. Cool. If anything, the big pop for that scene is like, oh snap, Babu Frick is here. Great. Whereas in this, you're actually like, oh my god, they're in the. Oh my, that's crazy. How did they build that? It's better. Just saying.
We talked about Lando. We talked about Alden Ehrenreich, Beckett, Mimban. We already talked about that. We just talked about the Maw. So yeah, I think I ran out of things to say. Honestly, you?
Okay, then I have one last thing to say.
Okay.
And it's about my favorite thing to talk about. And we're going to talk about some real war stuff.
All right.
I love that even like in the middle of this like conflicts, it's not like, it's not an open war yet. Like planets are in rebellion.
Yeah.
But the rebellion isn't like
doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, is like a concept right now.
I mean, I have to look up exactly when Solo is, but yeah.
No, but like it's at best an alliance of some planetary leaders.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not an open rebellion. No. It's not like open conflict yet. There is open conflict, but it's not that kind. The idea that people are like scrambling to make deals with like pirates and it becomes about resource management. The future rebels will need this fuel because you have to get around the galaxy somehow.
Yeah.
How much they're willing to pay for it, who they have to hire to do it, you have to pay them. What those people are willing to do. Like it becomes like this interesting web that is actually kind of historically accurate, where like you like even if they're not too on your side, this is still a resource that you have access to. If they have good intentions, great. But you still like there are resources that you can move around in a way that like the only other movie that covered this in like a roundabout way was the Clone Wars movie.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we need those hyperspace lanes.
Like with the weapon setting.
Yeah, stuff. Kind of. And then it's like, we need those hyperspace lanes. Yeah, you do, actually. If you want to get around. Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah, you absolutely do, don't you? And then because and this movie is like so lo-fi, you're just on planets with people, and that you see like what everyone's kind of going through in a way that you don't really get necessarily in a lot of the other trilogies or in a lot of other, you hear about oppression, You maybe even might see like refugees and stuff.
Yeah,
But this
I mean,
one you're
a
like
planet
on.
gets a planet gets blown up, but actually, it's like we don't get to see the people on the planet. It's like, oh, a planet.
Ah, yeah. Oh God, voices just cried out, and then we're silenced. Eek. Whereas now, if they had blown up the planet the Marauders were on, that means more now, doesn't it? Because you've seen them, you've seen their faces now, haven't you?
Yeah,
it's more.
If you see Kenobi before you see A New Hope, you're going like, oh shit.
Yeah, it means a little bit more now, doesn't it? Yeah, I like when Star Wars takes the war side of it seriously.
Mm-hmm. You should watch Bad Batch.
Watch what?
Say
the Bad Batch?
Bad Batch. Yep.
I mean, yeah, maybe. That's what we should do. We should do Let's Love Star Wars, but review all of everything.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. We're absolutely not going to do that. Just for the people that are like, you should. No, we're not going to do that. We're not. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do Let's Love something else.
Middle Earth, right? I think it's the name that you are so excited about getting to.
Let's watch the animated Hobbit movie. Yeah. I mean, yes. Let's not. I mean, we will, but let's not. Not right now. We're busy.
Anyway,
right now.
We are kind of rambling now, so unless you have anything more to say. Do you?
No. Mine was always going to be like the real.
I mean, it's a great movie, but it's not memorable. Like, it's a great movie, but like, it's a great movie. You sit in the couch, you watch a Star Wars movie that doesn't have anything to do with anything mostly. You enjoy it, and you go on your way. You don't have to go like, oh, but this Luke Skywalker is not like that, and but this isn't interfering with this thing. No,
you just go, oh, that's where he got those dice. And how long has he had that vest? Is he really married to that vest? Okay. Well,
No, actually, he wears the vest in one movie. No, in two movies. No, in one movie. Or two.
Doesn't Leia like? Or no, it's the jacket, not the vest. It's the jacket. The jacket that Leia's like.
Han Solo usually wears a jacket, not a vest. Yeah. Han Solo wears a vest in the first movie in A New Hope, and then I think he wears that. Does he wear a vest? No, he wears like the blue jacket in Empire.
He does definitely wear the
and then in Return of the Jedi, he wears like, well, he wears the vest during the meeting.
Yeah.
And then and in Endor as well. Yeah, he wears the vest in Endor too. But still, he doesn't wear the vest in the sequel trilogy at all.
He does definitely have it the whole time, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, bro. Well, I mean, I don't know. Lando stole it from him in. He was going through like.
It always comes back to Lando.
The closets of the Falcon, like, what should I wear today?
What should I wear today?
Anyway, guys, this was a fun episode. Probably one of the shortest ones, but doesn't mean at all that the movie was bad. Actually, it's my number 8 and Alex's number 5. 5, right?
Yeah.
So, better than a lot of the movies that we have talked about. So, Alex, why don't you wrap it up?
Yeah, for him, for me, for this show. May the Force be with you. Always.
All right. My mouse doesn't work. There we go.